Hi everyone, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. So, the development around St James's Park, and we wanted to touch upon it a little bit more thoroughly because some of you have asked, well, why haven't you done a proper video on it? Well, here it is. You've seen we hint on in the radio show. We've seen it on the final word that we talked briefly on it about it with the handbrake on, and we're going to express how we really feel about it. Obviously, during the video, you'll see a couple of shots around the ground as well. Johnny, I'll come to you first, since you're opposite us. What's your initial thoughts about the go-ahead?
I'm not very happy about it. I think Kyle mentioned on the radio show it is more to do with money, and that is pretty much what it's come down to. I don't like the fact that it's been sold from Mike Ashley to his son-in-law, so it's still in the family, if we're being brutally honest about it. So he sold it for £9 million. It's a nice early Christmas present, isn't it? So I agree with the heritage in everything that goes with Newcastle. I don't think that should happen. It does impact an expansion to the ground, whether we like it or not, towards the Gallagher, because we can't expand over the East Stand because of the fact that it's a listed building behind it. I think it's a poor decision. We talk about poor decisions on the pitch, but I think off the pitch, it's been a very poor decision. Not many people have stood up for us and tried to jump down the bandwagon that this shouldn't happen. Only NUFC Trust, Chionua, they're probably the only ones really that have said, look, this shouldn't be happening. And I just think it's really, really bad news for everybody concerned. The only people that really benefit, which is going to sound so strange, are people that are looking for jobs in the economy, which is, it sounds really, really peculiar. But from a Newcastle fan point of view, I'm totally against it.
The thing is, though, is that the club can't even object to it because it's the owner of the club doing it.
Somebody said in one of the comments, he's had enough of ruining the club, he's trying to ruin the city as well, and I think it's pretty much bang on, that statement. And it's a real shame. It's a real shame, and if they have to move the Sir Bobby Robson Memorial, then I think that's the lowest of the lows in terms of a financial gain. I really do, and I'm really, really angry about that bit in particular, because Sir Bobby Robson is what Newcastle's all about. You know the quote, everybody knows the quote about what a football club means to him. Well, it doesn't mean like that to Mike Ashley, and it's shameful, it really is.
Well, I'll touch upon Bobby in a little bit in a moment. But Kyle, when you think of, forget about the politics, forget about results, when you see it's home, isn't it? It's your home, it's where you go, forget about your problems, you go and watch your beloved team, you're a kid, you're 6-year-old, you go to your first game, you just see St James's Park from a mile out, 2 miles out, and that's going to be gone.
Well, as it says on the radio show, mate, it's a part of the, like, St James's Park dominating the skyline. It's a part of, like, for many people, not just the Newcastle fans, but people of Newcastle, from Newcastle, bleed black and white, bleed the city in Newcastle. Football dominates everything, so St James's Park dominates everything. And like, with it being such a football orientated city, it's just that, like, St James's Park is everything. And to replace for what, two flipping student buildings, some not even important. Just student buildings. They could move it up the road, they could sort out the public transport to fix the economy, but they don't. The worst thing is, for me, they're going to have to move Sir Bobby Robson's statue.
Johnny, that's the kick in the teeth.
Like, what a joke. Like, are you serious? Moving not just a legend of Newcastle United, but a legend of football, a legend of English football, moving his memorial for the sake of a couple of quid. And it's not, and it's a couple of quid that's nothing to Mike Ashley. £9 million, what, a couple of £100 to us? Say we win a bonus ball or something, oh, we got 250 quid. That's what 9 million is to Mike Ashley. He's a billionaire, so 9 million is nothing to him. And at the top of the lot, he sells it to his son-in-law. So I could probably bet a bottom dollar that he'll get some of that back in a flipping handout or something like that. And the 7 people that approved these buildings to go,
did you question them?
Of course I question them. What are their motives other than money? You're not thinking of the football club, you're not thinking of the people. And you can say the economy all you want, you can shove that opinion where the sun doesn't shine for me, because there's plenty space up the road. You mentioned it in the radio show, there's plenty fields and things like that where they could move this to, and it would profit the economy exactly the same. It has to be outside St James's Park, doesn't it? And it's very convenient. I completely agree with what that comment says. Johnny's bored with the football club and ruining that now, and asset stripping the football club. He's moving on to the city now, and it's just an absolute joke. When's it going to end? What level will this man not stoop to, and to make a quick buck? For me, he'd sell his mum on the black market for a couple of quid. He really would. That's the level he'd stoop to. If it meant taking a couple of quid, he'd probably do worse. Honestly, he would. That's the kind of man he is. Money first, nothing else second. The heritage and the history of Newcastle means more to me than a couple of stupid jobs.
Rob, why haven't they touched the Leazes Park? Because there was a good massive, and not just that, you look further across the field as well. You've only got to just go up Barracks Road as well, where all the cows and that are, where the Toon is. Why can't they build them on one of these two areas where there's loads of land?
I think officially speaking, Leazes Park is officially clustered, correct me if I'm wrong, green parkland which you can't build on.
So why not where the Toon is?
Sorry?
The town moor. It's just up the road from the barracks, so you know when you go up.
These aren't questions to ask Rob, though. These are questions to ask the 7 people that have approved this.
It's because we don't know. It's because we don't know. That's why.
On that topic, the 7 people, like not one of them thought, "Hang on, what might the repercussions be for this?"
And are these Newcastle people?
They've completely ignored this. They should be thinking that, you know, Newcastle United's success as a football club has a huge impact on the local economy itself. So if we're going to constantly be left behind and left with a 52,000-seater stadium in 100 years' time, then where's that going to leave us?
Try and flip it. I don't want to flip it, but I've got to because I'm presenting the video. Is there any positives from this?
Well, look down the road, like, say 50 years from now, Mike Ashley's gone, we'll go on new owner and everything like that. I mean, God forbid 50 years, I hope he's gone by then. I mean,
we'll come back in 50 years.
I'll be 74.
I might not be here, by the way I'm gone.
I mean, you look 50 years from now, and nephew, like me little nephew, will probably have kids one day, and they'll probably ask him, why aren't they making the ground bigger? Why is it looking so old and things like that? In 50 years' time, you'll probably be looking at St James Park as to why it's so old and things like that. Why can't it be built on? Oh, because Mike Ashley sold the land for a couple of buildings for £9 million. Or who's Mike Ashley? And like, it's going to tarnish, like, it just tarnishes the land, because once they're built, you kind of unbuild them, you kind of just knock them down. It's not like a game of Sims where you can just knock it down, no bother. Game of Minecraft, knock it down. It's not like that. It's not. It's land in this city that he sold down the road to his son-in-law, which he probably get a handout back. It's just a joke from top to bottom. It needs looked into by national media or something like that. I know the Magpie Group in particular have challenged Mike Ashley to look through all of his files and things like that. I urge them again, Tune for Change, Magpie Group, whatever groups out there, all 700 years. Unite to keep this from happening as a fan channel. If you as a fan channel, whether you use us, use Gallagher Shots, whether you use Sharky, whoever, use them as a platform to unite as one to stop this from happening. Because it's no good having 6, 7, 8, 9 fan groups all saying the same thing. If it's one voice, it means a lot more than 9 or 10. This needs to stop for the sake of the heritage and the history of this city. I mean, the people watch it, the people that approve of this might think, it's just a couple of buildings. The heritage and the history of the city means more, and it will always mean more than a couple of stupid buildings to me. So we need to unite as one, whether you use us, whether you use the Chronicle, Chianora, whatever. We need to unite on one front to stop this from happening.
Yeah, on that subject, I think, do you guys think it would be best if, say, for example, we put the so-called boycott on the back burner for now? Let's just sort of agree to disagree that we have different opinions on.
I mean, what I've just said
boycotting.
Could fit into boycotting.
Whereas every single Newcastle fan, unlike the boycotting issue, every single Newcastle fan is bound to be against this. So we should unite and focus on this.
Channel it into a positive, you mean?
Yeah,
because let's face it, it's emotions again getting played with. Yes, 1,000 jobs and the economy's booming and Newcastle City get whatever income. Is that what the council are trying to look at, Johnny? They've took the motion, ripped out, and thought, right, well, we'll base this on a professional opinion rather than emotional. Because let's be honest, we're being selfish because we don't want that to happen because we've got the emotion.
It's a business decision. That's what it's come down to. It's a financial business decision. They'll look at it and go, well, it's 2 buildings, it's 1,200 jobs. It'd be better for the economy. It creates opportunities. That's how they'll look at it. And the fact that St James's is in the background adds to the value of it, because they go, well, all right, it's outside Premier League, Newcastle United, St James's Park, fanatical fan base.
Just to be just to flip that, that'll surely get more money for the club.
Well, exactly. So
in a horrible way.
So whoever owns the club, if they're just giving it away for 9 million, they're probably saying, well, actually, we might be able to double this, if we play our cards right, and it adds value to the club. Again, if it was ever to be sold, so it's more money.
But it's true though, Kyle.
It's embarrassing though. For the sake of 9 million.
It's not that. We're just saying that if you sold it at 9 million, the money could go back into the club.
Because there's people living literally there. They can go in the 9 bar, they can go into the match, they can go to the corporate boxes, and so on.
That 9 million can go to 18 million, go to 27 million, and then you've made your money by 3 times the amount in quick succession. That it's that simple, and that's what they probably looked at. So it's a long-term vision from the top of the club as well, which is again another worry. But another thing that we haven't touched about is obviously the view. Well, we've talked about the view from a long distance, the skyline of St James's Park, and that will impact on that. So yes,
and even now you've got the Wellbar Central where I work, and then over to the left you've got them new student flats which are now blocking the view.
But it's centre,
coming over the Redriff.
But it's centre. That's the problem. You can drive a few miles away and you can still see the ground. This will impact it because it's how central it is to the ground. And
so you're only going to see the ground from the Leases Park coming in that way.
Exactly, and I don't know many people that do that. If you're going to go into town, especially for people, especially away fans as well, away fans are going to come from the train station. They're going to come up from the city centre because that's where all the bars and pubs and restaurants are. That's what's going to impact on us. So, shameful decision. From the economy point of view, probably the right decision from a Newcastle fan point of view. The wrong decision because we're all biased and we want to see that as well. But look, it's I totally agree with what Kyle and Robert said. It's a sad day for Newcastle United in that respect.
It's just morally broken people making decisions to profit themselves and not other people.
I was saying in the radio show before, it's a domino effect because you've got then the car park situation. That's 60 car park, and you might not think 60 spaces is much, but 60 spaces might be 120 people. Where they're going to go, and then do you need more money from the taxpayer to build underground car park? It's just a domino effect, not just on the club. It goes on and on. More people are coming in, more congestion. Yes, it's great for money for the council who are winning on this. Or Newcastle United, we're not. In an ideal world, if I give you a magic wand, what happens? Anything. Obviously, forget about Mike Ashley, the stadium. We're talking about the stadium.
Are we talking in the sense that this
you get rid of Mike Ashley, this doesn't happen, mate.
Yeah. You've got a magic wand.
I feel sorry for the people who work behind the car park in that building. That's what I feel sorry for.
Mate, I'll not be there in 10 years. You think about it in the long term, though. It's a domino effect. It's not just that. There's loads that happens.
It stops a stadium expansion, in my particular opinion, because obviously you've got the metro as well.
So you would like to see that happen, like go to 60,000 if we can?
I think 60,000 would be perfect for Newcastle. Yeah, I really do. I think when everybody's on the same hymn sheet, you're going to get people that want to buy tickets. At the minute, because of the attendances have been down, people go, well, there's no point of getting
well, we know why, because of the man.
Exactly. So for me, I think 60,000, you could easily get the Gallagher to 8,000. It's not going to cost a great deal in terms of you looking at your Spurs, £1 billion to buy a new stadium. Arsenal, Chelsea want to buy a new stadium. City, Liverpool have to put a new stand-up. In comparatively speaking, we would not have to spend a fortune in football terms to do that. I think that's the biggest disappointment out of all.
Fraction of the modern day cost, isn't it?
It is, of course.
Magic wand, would you agree?
Yeah, Mike Ashley leaves, you get rid of the root cause of something, of a problem.
Tom Reid.
Yeah.
So if I had a magic wand, obviously, I'd agree on some extent. I think it's got to go further than just some fan groups. I think I get your logic, but I think it's got to be legal. And Chino, I can only do so much for me. It's a poison chalice, Mike Ashley. It's just how much is he going to play with you, and you. Not just today. You're talking weeks, you're talking months, and this will probably go on years even after Mike Ashley has left the club with the knock-on of all the advertisement and what he's done around the ground as well. Let us know what you think as well. Ta-da. Bye-bye.